This is your Adventist News Update, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Andrea Musgrove. Coming up in the news, the Bahamas represents in a big way at the IAD's Super Bible Boom. South Bahamas Conference children express themselves, and calls for peace ring out in Baltimore. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News Update. You're watching News Update, and we're happy to have you joining us. The Atlantic Caribbean Union of Seventh-day Adventists congratulates Waylon Johnson on his big win at the Inter-Americans Super Bible Boom. The event, which was held on Sabbath, May 8th at the IAD's headquarters in Miami, Florida, saw the winners of the Bible Boom finals for the past 4 years coming together in a grand finale. Waylon, who won the 2011 finals in Puerto Rico, along with Victor James of South Colombia, the 2012 champion, and Miriam Orozco of the North Mexico, who was the 2014 Bible Boom winner, each had to study the 22 books of the Bible from the previous 4 years' contest in order to be ready for the 2015 grand finale. The competition was intense, but Waylon emerged as the winner. It took a total of 10 minutes for Waylon Johnson of the North Bahamas Conference in the Atlantic Caribbean Union to answer 50 Bible questions. With the win, Johnson will get to travel as an official delegate to the Adventist World Church's 60th General Conference session to be held in San Antonio, Texas this July. Johnson, 30, who won a one-year scholarship to the Antillean Adventist University in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, when he won in 2011, said studying the Bible for this competition has blessed him immensely in his spiritual life and allowed him to share God's Bible promises with others. He is on his second year of theology at Antillean University and took his final exams this week. Waylon also received scholarships from the Puerto Rican Union and the Atlantic Caribbean Union to continue his studies. Waylon Johnson is a member of the 8 Mile Rock Seventh-day Adventist Church in the North Bahamas Conference, and we say congratulations to him on a job well done. When we come back after this break, more news on just one way the children of our conference express themselves.
Hey, excuse me. Hi.
Hey.
Is heaven and hell real?
I don't know.
Excuse me, ma'am. Does it matter how or when we worship God?
I don't know.
Miss, what I must do to be saved? You already know it.
We all have questions. Let's come together to find the answers in the Bible.
The Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church presents its second annual Spring Evangelism Series called 5 Days in the Word.
I'm Pastor Kenny DeVoe, and I am inviting you to join me and the Breath of Life family for 5 days in the Word, which is 5 days of powerful preaching with Pastor T. Basil Sturrock.
Services begin Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. and will continue to Saturday, May 31st, 2015 at the Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church located on Marshall Road in Nassau, Bahamas. For more information on how you can be a part of these meetings, call us at 242-341-4021.
Welcome back to News Update. The Poetry Fest of the South Bahamas Conference was held recently, where the children and adolescents were given an opportunity to express themselves figuratively. It was an amazing display of talent as children ages 5 through to 14 were placed in different categories of age and lyrical style. Almost 10 churches were represented in the fest that was the first of its kind in our conference. At the end of it all, Marcia Bienemy of the Breath of Life Church placed first in the Limerick style. Dejanay Forbes from the Agape Church obtained first place in the free verse style, and Ryan Haven of Johnson Park was first place in the sonnet division of the fest. We say congratulations to all of them. In her summation of the fest, the chief judge, Dr. Pansy Brown, congratulated all 12 participants on their outstanding effort and suggested that their writings be secured and compiled in a document giving each child credit for their work. In upcoming events in our conference, camp meeting is drawing near from Wednesday, June 17th, Sabbath, June 20th, 2015. Camp meeting will be held at the Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church and in tents on its grounds. The meetings are intended to inspire within God's people a yearning and thirst for Christ's second coming. As we gather under the theme, Connected, We Press On. Camp meeting will be a time to remember with the dynamic preaching of Pastor Calvin Watkins, remember him, from the South Atlantic Conference, and workshops conducted by Pastor and Mrs. W.S. Lee. Get ready for Camp Meeting 2015. On May 27th to the 31st, the Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church will host its second annual Spring Evangelism Summit entitled 5 Days in the Word with Pastor T. Basil Starrup of the Agape Seventh-day Adventist Church. Host Pastor Kenny DeVoe and the membership of Breath of Life are grateful to God for the way he continues to use this congregation of believers and invite you to be a part of this exciting time at the church down on Marshall Road. Under the theme, Pressing Forward United in Faith, Berea Seventh-day Adventist Church on Blue Hill Road South will mark its 32nd anniversary with various activities which began on May 2nd with a prayer initiative and will continue on May 31st with a grand concert. As a part of their celebrations beginning on May 17th to the 22nd, the church will hold the Faith in Jesus Revival. It promises to be a good time in the Word. All former members and friends of Berea are invited to join in with the festivities. The Atlantic Caribbean Union will hold its annual mid-year meetings from May 25th to the 27th, 2015, right here in Nassau. These meetings bring together the members of the union's executive committee for prayer, planning, and reflection. Another feature of the meeting is the yearly symposium where field leaders share reports highlighting what was accomplished in the 4 fields of the union and Northern Caribbean University over this period. The symposium will be held on Wednesday evening, May 27th at the Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church on Tonic Williams Darling Highway, and all members within the South Bahamas Conference are invited to attend. The Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church invites you to a musical extravaganza at the church on Tonic Williams Darley Highway on Sabbath, May 16, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. The Sanctuary Youth and Children's Choirs will perform along with guest choirs from our sister churches, and a special offering in aid of the church's organ fund will be collected. Join in with this worship session, and we know that you will be blessed. Dr. Trevor Gardner, president of the Northern Caribbean University, will be the guest presenter in our conference on Sabbath, May 23, 2015. He will make presentations at the Grantstown, Johnson Park, and New Providence Seventh-day Adventist churches at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. respectively. All members are asked to attend the meet and greet at the New Providence Seventh-day Adventist Church on Soldier Road at 6 p.m. Word SBC 88.3 FM is the official radio station of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Bahamas, and there are a number of shows we would like to introduce to you, so you can look for this at this spot in our news update every week. Weekday mornings from 8 to 10, we invite you to join Laverne Starrup for an inspirational and motivational time from the Word of God on the show Morning Joy on Word SBC 88.3 FM. Morning Joy is a show where you can listen to a wide variety of gospel music, get practical tips, healthy insights, text in your song requests, and you may even win a prize. On Fridays during the Morning Joy show, a new feature called The Pretty Purse will be aired. This feature is provided by the Women's Ministries Department and will give tips on those practical items found in a lady's purse with a spiritual application. Pretty Purse is also aired during the week on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. So listen in to Word SBC 88.3 FM for Morning Joy and Pretty Purses. That's a great combination. And coming up in the North, the Office of Education in the North Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, in conjunction with the local churches in Grand Bahama, will host a joint Adventist Education Summit on May 22nd to May 23rd, 2015, under the theme Adventist education, repositioning for excellence now and beyond. The featured guest speaker for this weekend is David Daniels, director for the Seventh-day Adventist Initiative Commonwealth Foundation, located in Silver Springs, Maryland. Be a part of this special weekend as we seek to strengthen Seventh-day Adventist Christian education in the Bahamas.
People are exposed to cold and flu germs every day. Doctors, paramedics, teachers, they all know a thing or two about how to stay healthy when everyone around them is sick. Their suggestions can help you too. Get a flu shot. Wash your hands a lot. No matter what line of work you're in, if you come in contact with people who are contagious, you have to wash your hands over and over. To completely get rid of viruses from your skin, you need to scrub hard for 20 seconds or more. A good way to time yourself is to sing Happy Birthday twice while scrubbing the backs of your hands, between your fingers and under your nails. It doesn't matter if the water is hot or cold. The very act of scrubbing will physically remove the germs. Reach for an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. If you can't get to soap and water, sanitizer can kill cold and flu germs. Try to avoid getting close to people who are sick. Keep your surroundings clean. Sanitize doorknobs and light switches every day. Have a healthy lifestyle. Look after your own health. Get adequate rest, get good nutrition, don't smoke, and keep your allergies controlled, because if they're out of control, then your upper respiratory tree is already inflamed, which sets it up to more easily acquire a virus. I'm Bridget Bastian, and this has been your health tip, courtesy of Adventist Television. And remember, God wants you to prosper and be in good health.
And now we go to the Record and Focus Christian News magazine for news from around the world.
America and the world was shocked by the city of Baltimore's descent into violence and looting after the death of a young African-American man, Freddie Gray, in police custody. But between the rioting, tear gas and military intervention, a story was emerging of Christian peacemaking, with religious leaders themselves taking to the streets to call for justice and calm. According to the Baltimore Sun, various pastors, priests, and imams walked through some of the worst affected areas and knelt for prayer in the street. A statement from the Seventh-day Adventist Church expressed sorrow for Freddie Gray's family, condemned violence, and committed to working within the Baltimore community to bring transformation.
It's been a crazy week, and it's Sabbath, so time to exhale and get ready for that blessing that only the Sabbath brings. Well, that's all we have for you this week for News Update. On behalf of the production team of Adventist Television, Channel 53, we want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. I'm Andrea Musgrove. Join us next time for News Update.
Hey, excuse me. Hi.
Hi.
Is heaven and hell real?
I don't know.
Excuse me, ma'am. Does it matter how or when we worship God?
I don't know.
Miss, what I must do to be saved? You already know it.
We all have questions. Let's come together to find the answers in the Bible.
The Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church presents its second annual Spring Evangelism Series called 5 Days in the Word.
I'm Pastor Kenny DeVoe, and I am inviting you to join me and the Breath of Life family for 5 days in the Word, which is 5 days of powerful preaching with Pastor T. Basil Sturrock.
Services begin Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. and will continue to Saturday, May 31st, 2015 at the Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church located on Marshall Road in Nassau, Bahamas. For more information on how you can be a part of these meetings, call us at 242-341-4021.